Our responsibility is to create the environment, to nurture them, to allow them actually to soar, and then to make the choices in life which they believe are the best for themselves.
It is estimated that girls who become pregnant before their 14th birthday are 5 times as likely to die while giving birth. It is hoped that such discussions will prompt communities globally to protect children against these detrimental practices. Nomsa Masego, BBC News, Lusaka, Zambia.
Well, with me now is Nyaradzayi Gumbonzvanda, Goodwill Ambassador to the African Union for Ending Child Marriage. Thank you for taking time to talk to us in the program.
Thank you.
There's a huge conference taking place in London. Make me understand why it's happening here, who you're targeting. Well, clearly, from what we've seen in that package, the solutions lie within communities on the ground. Definitely, and part of the communities, including the UK. It was very interesting to see the data from the UK, but definitely it's about Africa. When you look at about 70% of the countries with the highest prevalence in the world, we are talking about Africa, from Burkina Faso, Mauritania, Ethiopia to Malawi and Zambia, and including my own country. So for me, it is about mobilizing the international interest, the international community, to be able to support national and community actions. For me, the change lies in my village, in every village in Africa, but also it lies with governments taking action. Child marriages for a very long time have been linked to issues of poverty and, of course, issues that people would say are cultural. Supposing there's a man watching you today or a family watching you today and they're thinking, we have no other way out, we have got to sell our daughter because we need to survive. What would you tell them to convince them that this is wrong? I'm here. My mother was married when she was 15 and she said none of my daughters would be married, and she said I'll put priority to education, I'll talk to the community. So it's possible for Africa to change norms. We are the Africa, and African communities, African leaders are the ones who define culture, who define traditions. This is the time where we need a different narrative about African culture. You do understand how difficult it is, especially if it's so much ingrained within the culture of a society. Yes, it is about culture, but it is also about redefining that culture and renaming that culture. And also it's an abuse of culture. I look into the issue of culture and I'm like, some of the things which are ascribed to culture is patriarchy. It's people who are committing criminal acts. It's a crime to marry an underage child. It's sexual abuse, it's abduction, it's violence. And then people say it's culture. All right. There are legal frameworks, of course, yes, that deal with issues of protecting children. Are governments enforcing this? And if not, why? We have a crisis at the moment in the world. It's a crisis of implementation and accountability. Just like in Africa, we have baskets and baskets and baskets of laws and instruments. And as Goodwill Ambassador, within the AU having made this decision, I'm like, implement the existing laws. We want to make sure that when a girl comes to a police station, when a mother reports a case, it's not just taken as a cultural issue. That police station has to deal with that case as a legal matter. So this is a call to actually make implementation of the existing laws. Currently, that's the crisis in Africa. From your assessment, which country has made strides with regard to child marriages? It has been interesting to watch, to observe some of the great efforts like in Zambia. The YWCA in Zambia, very interesting, very great work of emergency rescue of girls, going to the police station, taking the police to rescue Miriam and bring Miriam back into the education system. For me, that is the model that we need, that it's possible, it's doable to have multi-sectoral interventions, but which links with the role of civil society and some of the partners like with Girls Not Brides and others. All right, Nyaradzayi Gumbonzvanda, thank you very much indeed for taking time to talk to us on the program. Thank you so much for having me.